What is going on? Welcome back to Jiu-Jitsu Outlet. I'm sitting down with the champion of the 77 kilogram division at the East Coast ADCC Trials, Mr. Elijah Dorsey. What's going on, bro? Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Everything's doing good. How are you?
Dude, I'm doing great. Man, I'm excited to get into this and hear about like what was it like when you won the ADCC Trials recently and kind of what kind of an impact that had on your life. But first, man, I want to ask you the question that we start off every interview with, which is how's training in jiu-jitsu helped your mental health since you started training?
So I started training back when I was 7. I couldn't really like tell, or I started martial arts when I was 6. I started jiu-jitsu when I was 7. So I mean, I can't really tell you how my mental health was then because I was like just a little kid. But as of recent years, like through like middle school and high school, and now, um, it's definitely had a huge impact. In a way that it brings like a peace of mind knowing that I'm in like a good place and I get to train with people that I actually like and stuff like that. So it's mainly the people that like give me warmth and stuff like that that really benefits my mental health, I would say.
Yeah, like the community that you've been around.
Exactly, right. Even like people on my team, of course, and then people even outside of my team, like even like you, like just everybody in the jiu-jitsu community that I've encountered pretty much have been like really, really good people, uh, to me at least.
Yeah. They're good role models and like people you want to hang out with. And it's almost like an international fraternity. Like you could go to any gym in the world and immediately have friends.
Right, right, exactly.
Have you always been at Lloyd Irvin's team?
Yes, I started in their summer camp program, the kids summer camp program when I was 6, and then I just now I'm 22 and I'm still there.
Dude, that's amazing. So, what has that been like for you kind of growing up around that dude because I know that he's really got a reputation for building community. You know what I mean? And like being having a really strong community. So like what was that like? How do you think that kind of helped set you up for life?
Everything is like close knit, so everything's like family environment. Like we're a team, we're family first. Like that, we're really close knit. So like ride or die, everything. So everyone's if you come a part of the team, then you should expect to be in a good family like environment where we're pushing each other, helping each other, and supporting each other.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. I've noticed like seems like a lot of the best teams around the world in martial arts, they have that same sort of a thing. I mean, look at Khabib and all the Dagestani guys. I mean, that seems to be like what they're known for is they have a really tight bond. They were raised together from birth. Recently, I started training once a week with the Pedigo submission fighting guys, and that's how the vibe is there too. It's like one big family, and
Yeah.
again, you see the results then in competition. Like, what do you think that is? That do you think there's something there that kind of helps, like, almost make you better at the martial arts if you have that sort of a tight knit community, or do you think it's just a kind of a coincidence?
No, I definitely think it definitely having that community definitely reflects on like your results in competition or just in general because it's not just about yourself. It's about you doing it for the other people. Like so, you have that external and internal motivation for like other people. You want to inspire. You want to be a role model. You want to motivate other people by through what you're doing. You want to show that people and yourself that you can do it if you just work hard and keep grinding.
Yeah, so it gives you that motivation, basically.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool, man. So let me ask you about this. Like, what did you notice change about you as you kind of started to become more of a competitor? Can you walk us through that sort of evolution that you went through?
So I've always been a competitor, like whether it was in another sport or in jujitsu. Like I've always wanted to win and stuff like that. So just I would say the preparation, like knowing that if you want to get something good, then you got to put the work in and the time in order to get that result. Like nothing's gonna be given to you. So that kind of like made my mentality and the way I go about things differently. So I'm not expecting to get something if I don't put what I need to put in to get it. So I definitely would say that competing and just competing and just doing things in general in life, that's what's necessary in order for me to succeed.
Yeah, it kind of teaches you about how to create and engineer success. Like you have to put that work in
Exactly.
at a certain
Yep.
amount. Like you have to, if you don't get the reps in, you're not going to get stronger.
Nothing's given.
Nothing. So, man, tell us a little bit about being the ADCC Trials champion. Like, what has that done for your mindset, and how can you like compare? Kind of, I know it just happened, obviously, a couple weeks ago, but kind of, who were you before that happened versus who do you feel like today? Do you feel like the same person, or do you feel like you kind of went through a shift?
I would say I wouldn't say like much has changed. I think I'm just like proving to myself that I am capable of doing what I set out to do. So like I have big goals, and I want to be the best and one of the or one of the best. So I always like strive really high, but of course sometimes I have doubts. So when I accomplish something as big as that, then it just like, okay, you can actually do this. Like you're right there. So um, definitely, I wouldn't say like I changed, but I would say that just my um, it's just like a reassurance that I belong here. So that's mainly what changed since then.
Yeah, yeah, like you're definitely at that higher level, man, for sure. I mean, just watching you compete, it was freaking awesome. So, I mean, just watching your movement, um, yeah, it's like you enter into that Zen state. You know what I mean? And how does that feel? Like, did you ever notice a time in your life where you kind of that all started to click for you in your jujitsu journey, or like what was that like when you kind of? I guess what I'm trying to say is you're obviously at a higher level. Was there a point where you like felt that?
I would say after the pandemic is like really when it clicked because I won a couple of major titles in the gi. Not the big one in at Worlds, but I won pans at brown belt twice in the gi. So like after I won that, like I felt I was feeling myself. Like I felt like I can like I belong and stuff like that. I was starting to feel like it, and that I'm ready to get to the next level. But obviously you have your bumps and your obstacles. So just this past tournament at the trials, I definitely got over a nice hump coming from avenging myself in losses, getting victories over people that I've lost to, and just fighting big name people and showing that I belong there too.
100% you belong there, man. That's powerful, you know, and I think that what you're saying is like it's a gradual process. You know, it's like it's not like one day you just woke up and you were world champion. It's something that you've been working at since you were 6 years old.
Exactly. Hmm.
You know, it's nothing by accident.
Right. Yeah. No luck over here. Well, there's never. I don't believe in luck. I don't believe in luck at all. So
That's interesting. That's something that my wife and I were talking about this morning, actually, like the concept of luck and all that. Like, what do you think is going on? Because I feel like there is some sort of a bigger purpose or some sort of a bigger thing, but you're right. It's beyond just luck. Like, it's clearly something else going on.
yeah, all the work behind the scenes. I would say, like there's always something behind the scenes that you don't see that you then when you see the result you consider it luck, but you don't really see what happens behind the scenes. So I would say that all the work that happens behind the scenes is what contributes to what you see as luck.
Yeah, right. Could you take us through like what does your average day look like these days, training for a big tournament like ADCC Trials or now the World Championships?
Usually 3 times a day. So in the morning it's okay. Let's go with this. Um, so for the ADCC trials, starting in starting right after Gi World, I started doing the like Nogi ADCC focus training. So in the like from from after Nogi Worlds till Hmm. Till like a few weeks ago, it was 7 a.m. is strength and conditioning. 4 o'clock p.m. is like training gi, like training in the gi with Master Donnie, and then 8:30 training to 10:30 training is Master Lloyd's no gi training. We train with Master Lloyd no gi. So I always like I don't like really focus just on one thing. I always like to be versatile and do both no-gi and gi. Since I did grow up all like doing mainly gi, like 95% doing gi, so I'm not gonna just throw that out of the way. Um, but so as of recently, like I said, a few weeks up until a few weeks ago, I was doing a strength and conditioning. We started doing a 7 a.m. Training instead of doing the strength and conditioning. So 7 a.m. training in the Nogi, and then same thing with the 4 o'clock and the 8:30. Training with Macedonia at 4 o'clock, and then training at 8:30 Master Lloyd.
Dude, that's wild. I want to give a big thank you to the sponsor for this week's episode of the podcast, Mr. Richard Bressler, and his book, Worth Defending. Richard was Rorion Gracie's first student when Rorion moved from Brazil to the USA. He's widely recognized as the first person to ever train jiu-jitsu here in America. For 20 years, he lived and trained and worked closely with Rorion Gracie and the rest of Rorion's family, and he was an instrumental part of starting the first Gracie Academy and also the UFC. So this is a fantastic book. I've really enjoyed reading it, and it's such a great mix of kind of one person's story combined with an entrepreneurial startup of what it was like to start the Gracie Academy and really spread Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu around the whole world. In the book, Richard talks about his journey of going from someone who struggled with depression and drug use and a lot of insecurity, and then finding Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu through training and living with Rorion Gracie, which went on to then radically change his life and his entire approach to life. This book is endorsed by Rorion Gracie, Henner Gracie, Robert Drysdale, Pedro Sauer, and a lot of other influential people in the jiu-jitsu world. It also has over 300 five-star ratings on Amazon from people just like you and me who enjoyed this book. So go grab yourself a copy. You can get the paperback, the Audible version, or the ebook version on Amazon, or you can go to worthdefendingbook.com to find out more information and grab it directly from the website. I'll put all the links down below, so go check out Worth Defending by Richard Bressler. So do you get a nap there in between, or like do you go work a job, or do you do something else with your time?
I have a me and my brother, we have a power washing business. So
Oh, cool.
obviously right now it's like a little bit cold, so it's a little bit slow right now. But we're working to build back up. We're doing some marketing and stuff like that. Um, for like gutter cleaning, and so anyways, from usually from after the morning training till I have to go to practice, like depending on if we have jobs and stuff like that, that's when I would do work. I would that would be our money making process, or money making, our money source, I guess I would say. I can't think of the word right now, but um so my nap would have to like fit in between then. So like maybe I'll after the 4 o'clock training, I'll come home and then take a nap and then go right back out for the 8:30 training, and then sleep the baby hours that I can, and then wake up the next day.
How much time do you spend every day doing the power washing?
Um, Usually it's like it depends on the job really, because there's small jobs and there's big jobs. So uh, I would say average probably like 5 hours maybe. Not
Dude, that's
not even
crazy.
like during the summer is definitely way more than the winter, obviously because it's the weather. But like during the summer, it's some long days. Uh, Winters not as long because obviously the weather doesn't reflect that.
Dude, that's crazy because power washing is not easy. You know what I mean? Like you gotta hold a thing, right? Like I mean, I've tried it before. It's like, it's a good little grip workout, especially if you're working like that long. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Dude, that's crazy. I mean, just to put it into
yeah,
perspective,
yeah,
it's
yeah, for
like
sure.
you're training late into the night. Like for me, 10:30 is like when I'm trying to go to bed. You know what I mean? So it's like you're still training when most people are going to bed that day. And then you're up early, freaking
Yeah.
lifting weights or doing more jujitsu. And then you go and work a physical job. And I mean, power washing is not as tough as like bricklaying, but it's still tough. You know what I mean? It's not sitting at a cubicle typing reports.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're doing something with your body. Like, dude, that's
Right.
impressive. That's impressive. That's crazy. But
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
goes back
Exactly.
to what you were saying. Like it's not an accident.
Thank
It's
you.
all
Thank you.
one it's one step in front of the next. Like it's hard work, like it's discipline. And that'll just follow you wherever you go in life. Like whether you to become a teacher or do something bigger in business, like wherever you go next, like that discipline will follow. Let me ask you this, man. What have you learned about business through jiu-jitsu? I know, like you said, you're doing a little bit more trying to grow the power washing company. Like, do you feel like jiu-jitsu and business are similar at all? Like, where do you feel like they might hold hands?
The same concept. You reap what you sow. So, like in jiu-jitsu, the hard work, the training that you put in, you'll like get the results based off of that. And then with business, marketing, spreading the word, then you'll get the output from that. So Master Lloyd, he's like a business genius, a marketing genius. So he always like helps us out, and then well, he helps us out. So the branch is kind of like my brother Corey, he gets all the knowledge from Master Lloyd, and then I get the shavers from that, and then I also like go to Master Lloyd as well. But Corey's like a big like he's like kind of like he's like a baby Master Lloyd kind of, to be honest. So um yeah, so he definitely is like he helps me through you doing the business and stuff like that, and or we help each other. It's not my business, or it's not his business, it's our business. So yeah.
Kind of going back to what you said, it's like that same team environment. Like you're not just going to succeed in business without
Mm,
a support team. Like you need mentors, you need someone to
right.
do the work with you. And yeah, like jujitsu is a team sport. People don't realize that, but like you literally need a team to do it. Like you need you need people to train with. Otherwise, you can't just do it by yourself.
Right.
Like hypothetically, you could become the greatest runner ever all by yourself, but you can't do jujitsu by yourself.
I was just gonna say, like, even in running, like I ran track before, and definitely can even like get past, like there's like certain things that like you definitely need like coaches and teammates for that as well. So like I don't really think you can do anything by yourself. Like
Yeah,
there's nothing that you can do by yourself. You always need somebody there for you.
yeah, we're all community.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, going back to that, I wanted to ask you this. What do you feel like is the biggest lesson that you've learned from training with Lloyd Irvin all this time? Like, what do you feel like is the biggest thing you've taken away?
Um hmm that hmm that that you can't like change the rules of life. Like you can't do things your own way. You have to follow follow suit. You can't just do things your own way and expect to get, or you can't do the same thing and expect to get a different result. I would say that. Yeah, you can't do the same thing and expect to get a different result. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
There's so many lessons I've learned. It's just like a jumble up. But now that I'm speaking, I would probably say that.
Like you were saying, it's good to have mentors. It's good to have people who've done it before and people who have a system. Especially him, like he seems like he has a system for turning out winners and turning out champions. And I
For
mean, when
sure.
you get with someone like that, you should probably follow some of the advice that they have to say, right? Probably going to get a better result than if you just try to come up with it all by yourself and try to do your own thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I saw a clip on Instagram with Khabib was talking to his team, and he was like having this harsh talk with them about like, that they needed to listen to what him and the other coaches were saying, because they knew better than the squad what those guys should be doing. And he was like, I know better than you what you should be doing for your training. And I mean, that's ideally the coach that you would want to get with, right? Like the coach should know better than
Mm-hmm.
you what you need for your training. That's the whole point of having a coach. Otherwise, it's probably not a very good coach.
Yeah.
But if you don't listen,
Right.
then
Right.
that's on you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can only do but so much. But if you just take what they're saying and use it, then you'll be in good hands.
Yeah. Man, well, we got to wrap this up here in a second, but I just want to ask one more question. Like, how's your
Yeah.
prep going for the World Championships? Like, tell us a little bit about, I guess not so much even the training, but like your mental preparation. Like, how's that going headed into the World Championships?
Um. So I don't want to be after the trials. I don't want to get too high or too low on myself. Um. I'm just gonna go out there, do my best, and if I'm not even gonna expect. I'm not even gonna look to the results. I'm gonna just be in the moment and just do what I know. Do what I do best.
Yeah.
We've been working. We've been working on like fixing flaws, and I'm just gonna trust the process, and just go do everything I can to come out on top.
Yeah. It's like when you get into that no thinking mindset, I think that's when we do the best martial arts. You get into that Zen state.
Hmm. Like Bruce Lee says, be water.
Yeah,
You just gotta flow.
exactly. Dude, well,
Hmm.
I'm excited to watch you flow at the World Championships. And dude, thank you so much for coming
Yes,
on the
sir.
show. Let's say there's someone listening who's like brand new to training. Do
Uh
you have
huh.
any words of wisdom that you could give them as they're starting out?
Okay, yeah, yeah. Have fun. Have fun. You're not gonna just be able like jiu-jitsu is humbling. So like it's you're not just gonna be able to just do whatever you want. Like there's always jiu-jitsu teaches you that someone is always gonna be able to be better than you or something like you don't know everything. So just have fun, enjoy the process, whether you want to compete or whether you just want to learn, just enjoy the process, learn your techniques and just have fun. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I think we lose sight of that a lot, like the fun element of jiu-jitsu. We think like, oh man, if I'm having fun, then I'm going to lose in the competition. But actually, like, it's going to make you enjoy the training more, and then you're going to want to train
Right.
more, and then you'll get better.
Yeah. Like the next competition isn't unless you plan on retiring after that next competition, then it's not the end of the world. Like there's always like it's a process. It's not it's a sprint. It's a marathon, not a sprint. That's what I want to say. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, dude, very well said. Well, Elijah, thanks so much for coming on the show. Where can people find you or
Absolutely. Thank you
follow
for
more
having me.
about what you're doing? Is there anything you want to promote?
So my Instagram is big breakfast underscore BJJ. Um, I am available for like seminars and stuff like that, private lessons. And soon I'll come. I'll be having a course. I'm not for sure how soon, but just be on the lookout.
Dude, that's awesome. Well, I'll put all the links where people can follow you down in the show notes. So if you're watching this, go check it out. Dude, best of luck at the World Championships. I'm really excited to watch you
Thank you.
throw down here next year.
Us appreciate it.
All right, man. Have a good day.
All right, thank you. You too.